All right, we're live. Hey, everybody, I'm Madalyn Sklar. Welcome to Social Media and AI Shortcuts. We're going to discuss the latest news. There's a lot going on. We're going to look at some things happening with Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, and Bluesky. And a thing that I want to do today with the AI news is take a close-up look at ChatGPT Search. You may have heard about it. It's a really cool feature, and they've now made it available for all free accounts. It was just for the Pro and the Plus accounts, but everybody can now use this feature. So we're going to look at how that compares with Perplexity, which is very similar, and I've been playing with both. So we're going to have a lot of fun today just playing around with a variety of these interesting search features on these AI tools. But it is definitely time for us to first look at what's happening in social media, because last week it's like we did mostly AI talk, and there's been some new things happening on social media that I want us to go over. But we do have our community here with us, whether you're watching live or you're here in the studio with us. We do encourage our regulars that are part of the community to come be on screen with us. So I am going to bring them on here. We got Barb and Bez is here. Maria. How are y'all doing? Thank y'all for being part of the community and coming and joining me on this live stream, because I love getting input from you all. So I love just doing this where we go over things together and then y'all share your thoughts with me. So Bez, I'm glad you can make it during lunch hour.
Well, yeah, actually, I was able to move some things around. So I want to start coming to these.
Awesome. I appreciate that, because it's always fun to do this as a collaboration. Y'all know how I operate. Back in the old school Twitter chat days, while I loved it, it's still, though, you feel so isolated, right? You're on your phone, you're on your computer, and we're all just typing away like mad men and mad women, just, having our awesome Twitter chats, but we don't see anybody. We just see a profile picture, right? It's a fun way to connect with people, and that's all we had for the longest time before Spaces came along. But it still was kind of cold, because I want to see y'all and talk to y'all and us all see each other. And Spaces has been amazing, because at least, okay, audio, that's awesome. And I love audio. Oh, I love that, Bez. And audio has just been amazing. I love social audio. I jumped on that right away when Clubhouse started, and then we had Twitter start Spaces, and I'm surprised there were not more big social media platforms doing that. LinkedIn did their thing for a while, but they could have done so much more. And now transitioning to live stream, which is just, to me, even better, because I get to see y'all smiling faces and we can just interact, and it's so much fun. So
we can watch Bez eat lunch.
Yeah. I know it's like lunchtime for many of us. But anyway, thank you so much for being a part of this with me and spending time together. I do want to remind everybody that we do have a place where we also connect over on the Skool platform. This is the Social Media and AI Shortcuts community. So while what we're doing here in this live stream is our once a week gathering, which is always so much fun. I look forward to this every week. There's a place we can go where we can continue our discussion. So this is the Skool platform, and if anybody would like to be a part of that with us, it's very easy to join. You just go to skool.com/Madalyn Sklar, and it's like a kind of like a forum. It's kind of like a Facebook group, and we're able to all come together and post. And I don't go overboard. I don't sit here and post a bunch of stuff every day, because I don't want people to get overloaded. I mean, the whole point of this is just to have shortcuts and make things simple and easy. But as I come across interesting things, I like to post it in here so others can have access to it. But if you come across something cool in the world of social media and AI, feel free as a community member that you can post in there as well, because we're all about community, all about bringing people together. So anyway, thank you all again for being here with us. I do see we got some people watching us live. Welcome, y'all. Thanks for being here and hanging out with us. Y'all be sure to hit the share button so other people can come hang out with us too. And we're live right now. We're over on X. We're on Facebook. and we're on YouTube. So I see us live on X right now. Welcome to all of our X community friends. And I want to see more on YouTube and Facebook. I love posting this on Facebook because I mean, some of y'all know I've been building community since the 90s. So my Facebook, my personal Facebook is filled with so many people from all my various communities since the 90s. And I just love that I'm able to easily connect and reconnect with old friends, old colleagues. So I feel I've been really torn. I want to also have this on LinkedIn Live, but on the StreamYard account I have to live stream, I can only have 3 on this account. And it's like, okay, I for sure want to be on X. I for sure want to be on YouTube. And I love YouTube because it's easy for the replays. It's harder to find the X replays, but on YouTube it's simple and easy. But it's like, okay, should my third be Facebook or LinkedIn? And it's like, well, LinkedIn makes sense, right? Because this is a business live stream. Let me attract all the people I'm connected with in the business world. But I really like having this on Facebook because it keeps reconnecting me with old friends on there that'll see my live stream and be like, wow, I didn't know you could do that cool thing, Madalyn. I tried what you showed. And yeah, Maria.
Well, I just want to say Facebook is so perfect because you talk about all the different platforms. So you're not just talking about X or just LinkedIn.
Right.
So Facebook is the nice blend of it all. It's amazing. It's really great. I think things on X, you know, some people don't only prefer one platform, but for your content, you're so broad. You can reach so many different things, and so much of what you talk about applies to everything. So I love it. I love the way you're doing things. Yes, definitely.
Thank you. I still want to get this on LinkedIn, but I've just, you know, this is still like one big experiment anyway. And so far, this experiment of live streaming this instead of doing it on Spaces has been so much fun, so rewarding. And being able to see y'all's faces I love this. I love this so much. And seeing all the interaction in the comments live, and appreciate all the people that watch the replay of this. This is just something I really enjoy doing. And I just appreciate all of y'all's support with this as I venture in this journey of trying this. I see Bez made it back. Hey, Bez. So anyway,
Madalyn, I'm
yes.
so sorry, but on the X platform, remind people about the bookmarking, because like you said, it's hard to find these live streams, but they can bookmark it. You can later, so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle, right?
You can definitely bookmark that. That's a great idea. Let me show that real quick because that is like a really good feature that I think is one of those underutilized features. I think it's just one of those things that people don't realize they can do. So you can see this is very meta. We're on my X account and we're going to scroll down and look, there we are, super meta, we're live. You can hit right here below the bookmark button and bookmark that so you can easily go back to it later and go find it. So see, now it's bookmarked. You'll see on the left sidebar, you got your bookmarks. So a very simple and easy way to go and find those, you know, some post that you came across that's like, oh, I gotta save this for later. The thing is that I find though, is that well, you could just bookmark that, but like, what if you just come across somebody live streaming is like, oh, but I want to go see their live streams they've been doing from the past. On X, it's just, I wish that's one thing they would do is like have a tab where you could go see past spaces or past live streams. Wouldn't that be helpful?
Yes, except my live streams are starting to disappear randomly, by the way. Right. So it's a good thing we have backup on other platforms.
Yes.
Because I have been noticing they randomly disappear. I don't know if it's just a storage issue on the platform's part, but once in a while the post will be there and the link, it won't work anymore for the live.
On X? On the X platform,
the lives are disappearing once in a while. Also, I wanted to say, you know, if you have a verified account, it's super important to create an album. So that a folder for like I have my Madalyn folder in my bookmarks because I have a verified account. If you don't have a verified account, you can go a little crazy bookmarking tons of stuff, and then you have to scroll through your own bookmarks, and then it's hard to find too. So it is a good benefit of the blue check mark to be able to create folders in the bookmarks. Definitely.
That is a great feature.
Yeah.
And you're so right. Cause yes, I could say, okay, I don't, whenever Maria's doing one of these, I want to be able to go back. I can just bookmark all of her posts for that and do a folder with that. So it's easy for, otherwise you're right. You have just one long general scroll of all your bookmarks. So look, when X, back when it was Twitter, came out with the premium account and it used to be $3 a month. One of the main reasons why I did that and I paid for that years ago is because of the bookmark folder feature. Like, to me, as a power user, that was worth $3 a month. It's like, oh, okay, check mark, whatever. But really, I just want that feature. And now here we are years later, is now X, and they've got different premium accounts to choose from. The typical one people do is, I think, is still $8 a month. But I think even on their lower $3 a month that you can do the book. Do y'all know if you can do the bookmarking on that one?
I don't know, but I want to say one other good thing about that is bookmarking my own posts. Because even my own stuff, if I want to repeat it, 2 months later, I can bookmark really important meditations maybe that I've shared or specific things. So even for my own content, because I tend to bookmark too much because I want to support everybody. So I have my kudos folder, and then I have my pinned tweets and my Madalyn and my gratitude unleashed. I don't know if the $3 account covers that or not. And I know we're not all about X right here, but it helps.
You have like a whole system in place. That's like super impressive.
I have to. It gets overwhelming. There's so much out there. I want to get to the good stuff as fast as I can.
It can be very overwhelming. Bez, thank you for sharing this on your LinkedIn and X. I just noticed that. Thank you. You're so cool. Okay. My first piece of news comes from Facebook, and I was floored when I came across this. Maury Smith, y'all know, I'm sure everybody knows who Maury Smith is. She's like the queen of Facebook. I remember her teaching Facebook before she was even popular, before she really became a big name. And I was always so impressed with her. She's so knowledgeable. And on her Facebook group, came across an interesting post. And I already saw that Barb had liked this post. So Barb, I know you already know about this because of course, you'll see who your friends are that like and stuff. I'm like, oh, there's Barb. So anyway, this is interesting. This was just posted on Tuesday. So 2 days ago. Maury said, anyone in your chats can now, and we're talking about Messenger. So anyone in your Messenger chats can now share your messages and photos from the chat with Meta AI, and that content can be used to improve Meta AI. And it's like, what? So she said she had gotten a notification, and this was the notification to let you know that people can, in your Messenger, can take this stuff. And it's being used to improve Meta AI. Have y'all heard it? I know Barb knows about it because she had liked this post, or I don't know, she might have been like me and did the angry. I did the angry emoji. But what are y'all's thoughts on this?
That sounds awful. That sounds like such an intrusion. Wow. Because one of the things about DMs is, it's private, but even group chats, large ones, you don't know who's in there and how they're going to take your messages that you're putting in there. That's strange.
I assume that everything's up for grabs, so you just got to be careful, because here's another thing. Someone did a search on ChatGPT to improve their LinkedIn profile, and a post I had made about next gen bio actually came out in a ChatGPT result. I was like the third one down. So while that's pretty cool, you got to realize that these AI models are crawling the internet, and anything's up for grab if it's publicly available.
Well, yeah, but they're talking about chats, even the direct messaging too, which usually we're at risk if we're in groups with people that we don't know that well. But for the app itself to be going into those DMs is kind of strange.
Are those private ones, or are you talking?
It's Messenger. She's talking, right, Madalyn? Is that what you're talking about? Messenger, the messenger system from one user to another, or a group, like a chat.
I mean, I feel like at this point, everything
nothing's
on these,
private anyway.
yeah, none of this stuff is private anymore. I feel like it doesn't matter where we are on social media platforms.
Yeah.
Our data is being used, and this is just like a big in your face, because she's showing the screenshot of what her pop-up was, and I tell you what, there's so much conversation going on, and I'm like kind of going through her comments, and people are not happy about this at all. And then Maury posted something kind of funny. She said she laughed out loud when she read. I know this is kind of small. Let me bring a bigger. Let me just blow this up so y'all can see this. She let me just see if I can pop this up. There we go. So I guess there's a new thing with the Meta AI where it is actually like summarizing your stuff, and so because those comments were blowing up and people are upset, is letting you know on her post what people are saying. Commenters are outraged and concerned about Facebook Messenger's new feature allowing private messages and photos to be shared with Meta AI for training purposes, feeling it violates privacy and contradicts previous assurances. I mean, they're summarizing the comments.
That's just a random summary from the app that just randomly decided to do that summary.
Exactly.
That's so strange.
You can do that, pull it up in all of your groups now, and in posts as well. You can look for the little Meta AI insignia, in there.
They're spending
it's scary.
much time analyzing what people are talking about.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things where we all just need to be a little bit more aware that this is happening, and they're Meta's letting you know it's happening. But just these comments were just, people are not happy about this. So
mine got it. My comment that I left, I was the very first one, and I got quite a lot of feedback on that, just simply because, well, I told Maury I was up early morning when I showed it or saw it, and the whole thing is that I think that the employees, because of all these other issues that's been on Meta in the last week or so, because of Zuckerberg came on and he claimed certain things were done and against his will and so forth, and that he was cracking down. And I think disgruntled employees that are in that department in Meta are actually, they're seeing how far they can go with the tool. So I don't, it is as best, you just got to figure that everything is out there. And I've kind of operated that way since the 80s, even, just from the back bulletin board days, because you never know, a person can do that. And I've also owned Snagit, which is a screenshot software. I mean, since it came out, we had the ability on our PCs very early on too. So you just never know. And I think you have to treat it more as like you're going to school or you're going to a meeting where the public's going to be there. Be on your best.
Wow. I agree with that comment completely. But the way all of these apps are moving is removing that personalization of it. Everyone's going to be putting on their professional masks even tighter and not allowing. And the whole thing is social selling, letting people know who you are. And being able to go to a chat with somebody to collaborate on an upcoming podcast or a project and have it be accessed by the app seems really intrusive. People are going to start going off the app. They're not going to trust the app. And it's going to thwart interaction. It's going to thwart relationship building out here. That's, I don't like that at all.
Gail, what's your thought?
Okay, I want to weigh in on this because I have a story to share that so when I heard Mark Zuckerberg talk recently, I think it sort of confirmed something that I have a personal story here to share. So a friend of mine that I know quite well lives up in the Ottawa area. So I don't know if any of you in the States have followed. We had a large convoy in Ottawa. And so I don't want to make it political, but it was an issue in terms of people. There was many different views on that. So my friend was going to go check it out. She just wanted to go see what everybody was talking about. She was watching the media. So she went to the area. And I said, well, send me photos. I'm curious as to what's going on. I'd like your firsthand, because I'd only been seeing mainstream media. So she was sending me photos. She was talking about it. She said, oh, I'm seeing things so different than what I saw in mainstream media. She said, these people, like it was not hostile. So anyway, she's sending me photos. And all of a sudden she had a message pop up that said, you are in an area, like, basically stop what you're doing. She was so freaked out, like, and she told me this and I was like, oh, so she started deleting the photos. Like she was afraid that there was some like police state. So this is a firsthand story. So and that's when I said, you know, on Messenger, be very careful what you're sharing, because she was being out, and she was not in an area that was like cordoned off. She was in a public area, but she was sending these photos. So when I heard Mark Zuckerberg agrees with all of this, I'm like, you know, what I used to think was conspiracy theories, more and more I'm saying, wow, there's some things happening that, and I always say, regardless of where you fall on this issue, my background is in media. So I've been a journalist. I call myself a recovering journalist, and I'm a strong advocate for like less censorship, more free speech, even about things I don't agree with. And I just find that's a really interesting topic right now, because I know a lot of people now don't like it because they don't like what they're seeing. And I said, you have to fight for this, even if you don't always agree, because one day the tables will get turned. So, so that's a firsthand story that I wanted to share, because I think it's not really AI, but obviously it was being flagged, whatever, like she was sending these photos to me. And yeah,
That's scary.
She was quite distraught. I remember, because she's become a lot more political, I'd say, after that, because she was someone who really was somewhat of an innocent. She just wanted to go see for herself, walk around. And she had, to this day, she has now become much more involved. And as I said, yeah, this is not an urban myth. This was actually something that happened. I wanted to share. So I think, you know, there's a lot of things now when we're sharing what we think is private. It's becoming more and more concerning that, you know, even we've seen things during that convoy, people have some of their personal text messages were being released and by the police. So it's just,
wow.
We're in
invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. With an agenda. Let me ask you about that post, about this issue. Are most of the comments negative? People don't like them? This new change, this AI getting into the chats, or are they positive comments?
Now that's for Madalyn,
Are
right?
they mostly, Madalyn, are they mostly negative comments?
Oh, on Maury Smith's post, yeah.
Yeah.
People
Absolutely.
are very upset by it.
Okay.
That's why that summary, you know, that AI generated summary was relaying that. Well,
right.
In the
Because
top,
I notice on some platforms, they tend to, even though it's an obvious problem, all the comments are positive. So I think something's going through there and censoring what comments show. I've been noticing that on stuff on X.
I think it happens a lot in a lot of platforms. I mean,
and so they make it look like everyone likes the thing,
right?
And they're hiding the other stuff. But those are public posts. The chat's a different subject, but
I often recommend to people, that's why it's really important to sometimes be on a few different platforms, because, you know, I happen to be a fan. I like X a lot because I get such a wide range of views, but sometimes I know it's skewed. So I purposely, and I've done this on TikTok as well, I try to go follow and listen to things and people I don't always agree with. But that's in my nature. Like I'm always trying to keep ahead. So my feed is quite balanced, but I talk to some people and they don't like their feed. And I said, you know what, there's no perfect platform. These are all private, these are private enterprise, I think. And when I used to work in media too, in newspapers, and I think people used to think there was this, well, you work in media, it was some public. I go, no, it's owned by a company. It's owned by a corporation. Mm-hmm. So there's no true, I mean, yeah. So I think just being aware of the source, and obviously Elon Musk has an agenda as well, Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, there's agendas on every platform. And that's why it's so good. I love Madalyn so much, is that there's an allowance to have these types of discussions and be aware, as opposed to just saying, oh, this platform is all good or it's all bad. It's a mix of things, right? There's no
exactly.
It's perspective.
And we can love it,
Yep.
but know that it's not here to bring peace on earth. It's a business. It's a business.
Right.
We love it. It can have its problems. We'll work our way around it. And that's why conversations like this are so important, for sure.
Yes.
But going back to Maury's post, I went to see, like, what's the sentiment on this? Are there people like me that did the angry emoji? And like, you got 41 people that did the like, oh my gosh emoji, 8 of us that did the angry. You got 6 that did the crying emoji. Got 2 people that did the laughing. I think this overall lets us know that, like, people were not happy by this pop-up that Maury shared, that letting us know what Facebook is doing inside of Messenger. So it's definitely interesting, but also with the algorithm can make this, it's almost like how shows are edited, especially reality shows, and they want to have a villain. And then you come to find out in real life, this person is no villain at all, but it's how they edited it and made them look like a villain, right? And it's just scary. We don't realize, like, somebody could be totally pulling the strings and making something out to be completely different than what we see publicly,
When I was a reporter, someone once said to me, it's like, oh, can't believe what, you're reading in the paper. And I said, that's true. You shouldn't believe everything. And they were so shocked that I agree with them. I think that's why I've always been kind of walking on a different path, because I said, you should be getting different sources, because there really is no such thing as complete objectivity. And even when I was a reporter, I would go cover an event, but what I chose to add in the story and not add in, I mean, I always tried to be as objective as possible, but there's things I didn't include and things I included. And we all come from a background. I always said, it's like, it's very hard to go, we see these stories where someone goes in a wheelchair for a day but you do not completely understand unless you have lived that life. So that's why it's important to get different perspectives, because no one can really ever convey, even when you're covering an event. I mean, I'm terrible at judging crowd sizes, so that was never I always used to try to ask I'd asked a few different people to try to get a crowd number, because I have no idea. I look at a crowd. I have no. So I tried to at least get a guide from a few different people as opposed to going by my knowledge. So.
Yeah. I'm going to play a TikTok video. So in the comments on that post that Maury did, somebody shared this TikTok video of a guy talking about how he deleted his Facebook account years ago. And this is a pretty recent, this video came out last month, but he mentioned some really interesting things. So let's watch this real quick.
In IT. I worked in IT for like 13 years, and I learned a lot about data privacy in that time, and social media and apps, and what apps are notoriously bad when it comes to data privacy. And at the very top of the list, the worst offender, the worst app for data privacy is Facebook Messenger. Not Facebook, not Instagram, not Threads, Messenger. And I've seen a lot of people say things like, oh, I got rid of all of my stuff from Meta and Facebook except Messenger because I have a group chat with my family. Or, oh, I got rid of my Facebook account, but I kept Messenger because that's how me and my work colleagues communicate. Bro, that's the worst one. Like literally the worst one. All that other stuff that you got rid of and deleted does not matter if you keep Messenger, because that is the worst offender out of all of them. Let me just explain this to you. If you have Messenger on your phone and you don't have any other apps by Meta, you don't have Facebook, Instagram, Threads, nothing. If the only thing from Meta you have on your phone is Messenger and you connect to a Wi-Fi, Messenger makes a map of that Wi-Fi network. It collects information about every single device that is connected to that network. So every phone, every computer, every tablet, every printer, every camera, every thermostat, every smart TV, every Roku device. And on every single one of those devices, they're collecting the name of the device, the IP address of the device, what type of device it is, whether or not your device has access to that device. And this doesn't just happen on your home network. It happens on every Wi-Fi network you connect to. So your friend's house, your parents' house.
I'm gonna stop there, but I mean, that's just some crazy stuff he's talking about. Y'all have any thoughts on that before we move on to our next item?
Yeah, I have some thoughts on that. Yeah, that is true. But there's a something a little bit is sometimes they're dynamic IP addresses that are being generated, so they'll change, but they'll definitely grab the name of the device. But you definitely have to beware. I mean, if you ever have those friends that said, "Turn off your cell phone," we're being tracked by Big Brother, and that's we're probably not that important, but yeah, if you got a device, it's got it definitely is identifiable, and that's how they solve these murder cases. They ping the cell towers, and there's all sorts of wonderful things. We're so wired in. But hey, hopefully you're not out there doing bad things. But yeah, you just got to be careful. And I'm wondering, because the European Union is really sort of tight on that stuff, how it works here in the United States, if the cell companies, um well, let's say if there's any protection around that. That's probably something I'm gonna check into. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Hi, Rachel. Glad you made it over. How are you?
Oh, there it is. I was like, where's the mute button? I'm good. Thank you.
Thanks for making it over.
Yeah,
So,
I'm happy to be here.
have you heard this conversation we've been having about Messenger and the whole data privacy and AI and stuff?
No, I was on a call with
Okay.
with something of anyway, no, catch me up.
Okay. Well, we're actually ready to move on because we've been talking about this for a while. But no, it's just Maury Smith had done a post about how in Messenger AI is just, the things they're utilizing off of our information. It's just a little scary stuff. So I was just curious what everybody thought of that. But we've been on this for a while. Larry's asking, I wonder if WhatsApp does the same thing. I imagine so, because WhatsApp is Meta. And this seems to be like a meta thing. So I just feel like we're at a point now that none of our content's safe anymore. Our data is safe. That's my belief on that. But let's move on to Instagram, because I came across an interesting video from the CEO talking about how Instagram is prioritizing likes over saves. I think there was a time where they really encouraged people to use the save button, and that it would work towards your overall engagement on Instagram. I mean, honestly, I don't use Instagram as much as I used to, but I know we have a lot of people in our community that do. So I just want to play this video from the CEO talking about how he's answering a question somebody had posted at the top. I know it's kind of small. It says, "Why are you still putting so much weight on likes? Why not other metrics like saves?" So let's hear what he has to say.
Shauna asks why we don't put more weight on saves instead of likes when we rank content. Now, the truth is we actually value both. We look at send rate, share rate, save rate, but we look at likes more because there are a lot more likes. And we need to focus our ranking systems on where we actually have some data to train on. And generally, there's a lot more likes for the average post than there is saves. Doesn't mean that saves don't matter. They do matter. They're actually a great way to get a sense for what people are interested in. So we do value them, but we've got more information on likes. They tend to correlate more with whether or not you wanted to see the piece of content. And so we focus a bit more on likes and saves.
Any thoughts on that? Is anybody here actively using Instagram? Yeah, Rachel.
I post daily, once a day. I'm not there all the time. And I use it through a scheduler, through Hootsuite or Vista or whatever. But that's what I use for clients as well. So I kind of have always felt like do as much as you can with every post. So I always said there's 5 or 6 things you could do with the tweet, right? You could like it, you could retweet it, you could quote tweet it, you could respond, you could share it in a group or a community, you can DM that person. And I feel like with Instagram, you want to do as much as possible on each post, but it has to have, and this is what I was looking at, and maybe you guys know more, I'm sure you do. They look at the value added to the post. So if it's just an emoji, that's gonna, like a heart, that's gonna have less impact than if somebody replies or shares. So I feel like if we can do everything on each post as a social media manager, I feel like maybe I'm hitting all the buttons. But I don't know, because they change algorithms, like, I don't know, like they change their socks. So it's really hard to keep up with everything.
It really is.
Yeah, likes are so easy to do.
They are.
Someone can just go down and click,
Just
click, click,
like.
click. So that's strange to me that would be so valuable, because like Rachel said, you know, what is like more than 3 characters, at least in a response, a reply, something like that. But they aren't even, it's just a simple like that he's talking about there. And the save on Instagram, is that equivalent, would you say, to like bookmarking on
Yes.
Twitter?
Yes.
Right? It's so it means someone cares about that post enough to save it.
Right.
A like, that it doesn't make sense to me. It's too easy just to scroll through there and like a bunch of posts. I don't know if that's a good indicator.
Yeah, I was quite surprised by that, because I always, you know, years back, they always said, you know, don't rely on just your likes, you know, have great content. You want people to save. I remember when Instagram was really big on the whole save and how that would work in the analytics in your favor. So I don't know. I was really surprised when I saw that video. I'm like, oh, I got to play this for y'all and hear your thoughts on it. Even though I don't use Instagram actively, I'm always still interested in how this is helping people in their overall strategy, their marketing strategy for their business. And I know plenty of people use Instagram every day and don't know if they're even aware that the CEO is saying all that. So it's like, okay, interesting. Why don't we move? Oh, go ahead, Rachel.
One of the posts that I'm working on right now is how to check our analytics, because I realize so many people have no idea the information is literally at their fingertips, but they're so confused by all the options that they just shut down. So that's one of the things that I'm doing, is looking. You get so much great data on your professional dashboard on mobile with Instagram. I don't know why they've always trended more towards mobile ease than web ease, which is kind of annoying because I'm on my computer all the time. But you do have a lot of great data there. So I just, you know, maybe do some testing, see the responses that you get, or see what kind of interaction you get. It's almost like A/B testing, really, with an ad, except for you're not running ads, unless you are. Totally different subject. Yeah.
I think testing is always smart with anything you're doing in your marketing. For anybody that just got here a little more recently, welcome. Just want to do a quick little reminder. I mentioned it when we first started, but we do have a place where we can continue our discussions over on the Skool platform. So if you go sign up, it's free, skool.com/Madalyn Sklar. This is what it looks like. It's our social media and AI shortcuts community where we can continue our discussions and post things to all help each other and just have a place where we can still converse. Because even though we love doing this every week, I look forward to it. It's still always nice to be able to have a place in addition to this live stream where we can all hang out. So be sure to sign up and join us there. Next up, and I'm sure some of y'all are excited about this because you're utilizing X communities. I know, Maria, you love using communities. Who here is using X communities actively? Okay. Wow. A lot of y'all are. I have an X community I set up a long time ago. I haven't really been using it super actively, but it is a nice feature. But they announced in an update that everyone on X can now reply to community posts, including non-members. So I'm just curious, since so many of y'all use this, what are your thoughts on this update? Maria doesn't like it.
Oh,
that's all I have.
Thumbs down.
That said it all.
Started. They've made quite a few changes. The point of being in a community is having all the members be able to interact, right? All the posts are public, which is great for marketing, and it's okay, absolutely, for people to see the posts. But one of the reasons to post in a community is so that trolls and spammers can't drop all their stuff on your post. So the new changes say, oh, yes, you can remove the junk from your community, but now that's a job that the moderators have to deal with, cleaning up if spam. Because I've been in so many communities, if they're not curated properly, they turn into a big spam dump place. And so it's disturbing to me that a community that I've been working to build with some fantastic people, they're getting more comfortable about interacting. But now people from the outside can read their post and actually say, what a stupid post.
Right.
That's the
That's
problem.
not good. That's
not good at all.
And I noticed, like, before I even saw this announcement post on X, that, you know, you from last week's live stream we did, you've been promoting it to your community. And normally I'll see it because you tag me, but it won't let me comment unless I'm a member of the community. But all of a sudden it let me comment. And I'm like, that's interesting. And so then I see this post, I'm like, okay, but isn't the point of a community is like, there's typically two types of community, a public free-for-all or a private community. And they're making it now where all communities on X are public free-for-all. So then what's the point? What is the point of even doing it?
Right, exactly. Well, the difference is there's public community or private community. The way they've been doing it is a combination of the two. The posts themselves are visible to the public, but the public can't post in there or reply and spam stuff. That's how it's been in the last couple of years. It's never been a perfect system at all. It's kind of like you say with your stuff here, an experiment.
Yeah.
But I love being able to put people together. So it's a lot of different creators sharing content in one spot in a community. So it's like a little mall. It's not just all about me. There's another change too, where all the community posts go on our timeline, which is a disaster for me from an administration point of view, because I post in there to encourage other members and make funny posts or prompts. Now they all go to my timeline. My followers aren't necessarily interested in what we're talking about in the community itself, or what somebody's birthday is or whatever. I don't know. What do you think, Rachel? I saw your hand going up.
Yeah.
You've kind of given up too, I think.
Yeah. Well, here's the difficulty is I run two communities. On my personal author account, I run a community called Sex Abuse Chat, which started as a text chat, then became an audio space, which I still do monthly, and then a community. But nobody commented in there because a lot of people are using pen names. They're afraid for their lives or to be found, or that family will see them. So the fact that other people could see what they post, all of us were like, oh, this is great. Oh, wait, this is not good. So I went back to having a private DM group just for that, because nobody could see it. And I'll probably delete the entire community at this point.
And that's what we talked about before too. Yeah. For your specific subject, it doesn't make sense to have all of that personal
it's not
experiences
safe.
Public. No,
it's not safe.
But how interesting you're talking about the DM chat.
Yeah.
Because with Facebook, you wouldn't be able to rely on the DM chat group based on the beginning of this conversation with the new change on Facebook. Everybody's getting into there now too on Facebook. Yeah. So far, X seems okay in the DM chats.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But also, let me put this post back up. I mean, I know this is kind of small to read, especially if anybody's watching on their phone. The last item on here says your community post will still be available on X if the community is deleted. Users can always delete their own posts. So when you had mentioned, Rachel, about like you might just delete your community, the posts are still out there. Unless each person that posted deletes their posts. So any sensitive topic community that's out there is not benefiting from these changes.
And we didn't know that, right? So I feel like I led people down a path that I thought would be a safe path. And now I feel like, oh my God, like we pretty quickly realized that other people could see what we were posting. And so everybody just sort of stopped. but that's interesting. I'll probably just, it would be nice if we could archive it, but not have it available for our own use, you know?
How strange. I mean, I liked the idea that it was public, because for podcast episodes, for people posting content that they want other people to see, seems to me having people see it was okay. But the ability to spam on it, that's the new change that I don't like. I don't mind if people see Bez is in the Gratitude Unleashed community. We can have a conversation in there about his mastermind group, about what kind of mic to use for the podcast. My followers don't care about what kind of mic I use. But in Gratitude Unleashed, it's about mixing up and sharing knowledge. And Bez, go ahead.
Yeah, it's really interesting seeing the evolution of communities, and I just started to do one on X, because a friend of mine, we were doing like we'd open up a audio X space or Twitter space Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, and for like 9 months we were looking at each other, and wasn't it's like we almost abandoned it. We were like, we're about to go over to LinkedIn audio because no one's showing up here, and we did do it early in the morning. And then we had a chance encounter where someone asked us a question, and then it was about artists, and then it just sort of slowly built up, and people actually started showing up. But I'm starting to look at these social media platforms, because when you see the numbers for Twitter, they're losing money. So I think what they're trying to do is hack the communities to be able to show numbers to potential advertisers, because the big advertisers, like not the small ones, but the ones that spend a lot of money, they've been leaving the platform, right? Or they're spending less on the platform, and they're not doing well on that standpoint, right? They're going south instead of north. But I'm starting to see that all of these social media platforms, like remember Facebook, they say, oh, we're going to promote your pages, right? And then all of a sudden, like, then they asked us for money so we can attract people to our pages, right? Because we were helping them build their product, so we were the product. So I'm starting to see all of these as top of funnel, and we have to find communities. Like you found Skool, whatever. I found another one called Go Brunch, and I'm running a career thing there 5 days a week until March 28th, and it's about 16 of us that show up. And it's a nice group. We're getting to know each other, but that's community, and it's different. If I were like right now, what we're doing today is it's a top of funnel activity, right? So you have to sort of balance and say, hey, where is this? And if what most social media platforms are doing, you just got to say, hey, maybe it's not where I want to have community, because then I get all the trolls. So.
Great point, Maria.
And that's why I liked communities, because it does eliminate the trolls. And we have Gratitude Unleashed. I have it set so that you have to request to join the community. And we do check profiles, because we don't want a bunch of bots in there just posting and selling things. But yeah, the new way that it's working, we're going to have to figure out. The only two benefits of having a community on X, as far as I can see, is that the members themselves will get a notification that the pinned tweet has changed, and they get a notification when a space starts. So I think we're probably going to scale back a lot on the interaction, because also when I post into the community, when any member posts into the community, it automatically goes to their timeline. So it's going to bury their own. Every time I post in the community, it goes on my timeline, and it buries my meditations, my stuff why I'm on X for. The reason I spend my energy in the community is so that everyone else, we can congregate in one place, not to share everything over to my timeline. It's going to overburden my followers if I start to say hi to members. Every time I say hello, it's going to go on my timeline. It's ridiculous.
That is. Yeah, Rachel.
I just deleted the sex abuse chat community. It let me do it. So it's gone now. Bye-bye. But how can people access it now at this point? is my question.
Good question. The post I was showing from X with their announcement says that the post will still be available on X if the community is deleted.
Don't you think it will be in the individual user's account though, as a reply or a post? That's probably where it's housed.
Probably so, because it does say users can always delete their own posts.
Yes.
So my thinking is you plus all your members, whatever posts you've done, they're still going to be in your feed and public, I guess, according to this. I mean, they did not think this one through.
No, but I don't think they're thinking in terms of like marginalized communities in any way. Any way, not simply, sexual related, but
just overall, in
mental
general.
health, addiction, whatever. There are a lot of people that rely on gathering together in groups like that. Yes.
Well, this is a wake up call that a social media platform is not the best place for you to have a private community.
Yeah.
Something like Skool, like I use, I pay a monthly fee to have it, but I'm the one that controls it.
Mm-hmm.
So I dictate everything, not the other way around. I don't have a billionaire deciding all the rules and changing them whenever he feels like it, or a big corporation doing that. Like, I get to make the rules and I get to decide. And when you use something like Skool, you can make it a free platform for your members, or you can charge them a membership fee. Like, you have a lot of ability to do this in the way that suits you and your community.
I feel like that about Facebook, but knowing they could pull the rug out from under me at any time. They could just eliminate my community or change the way it works. So yeah, it's a risk. It is a risk. So I like the idea of Skool too. Yeah. I mean, if anybody wants more information on utilizing Skool, just reach out and let me know. I've been using them for my 2 communities that I have through them for over a year. And I really like the platform a lot. It's very easy to use. I like that it's private and secure. You can have it be open to the public, but you can also have it completely private, where the only way anybody can see anything is they'd have to be a member. And you can even approve every member, which is what I do with both my communities. Like, it's not a free for all. Like, if you want to join, you're going to sign up, you're going to put in your info, and then I'm going to hit yes or no, so I get that little extra control. You don't have to do that. You can just have every person just automatically be in, but I like having that control. This is such an interesting conversation we're having today with social media. A couple of other pieces of news we'll zip through really quick here. I can't believe we're almost at the top of the hour. So some news from Threads that they're ahead on engagement over X now. They're driving 73.6% more engagement than X. I thought that was really interesting. So I wanted to share that with you all. Does anybody here actively use Threads? Or any of y'all using it?
I sort of, and I was, so here's what's interesting. I sort of gone back and forth, but I've heard other people that they've actually were able to get business out of Threads. So the engagement was good for them. They said, when a platform sort of is like new to the party, that it's a great time to get engagement. So I know they've been around for a little bit, but I'm going to try to do a little bit more over there, because I did something with X. I made the mistake of replying to a politician on X. Then I went about my day, and then I looked at my Twitter. I was like, boom, like like all the wrong people responded to me, saying really nice things to me. So I don't know. Sometimes I wonder why I'm there, but
not.
Yeah.
Larry says, I pull Threads. I love that. That's hilarious. Rachel, you mentioned, or you were holding your hand up, you use Threads a little bit?
Just, I check in, but it's like, oh, it's another Meta product.
Right. Yeah, another Meta. Like, not only is it another social media platform, like, do I need to be on this one too? But it's also Meta. So,
it really did surprise me when Stephen King left X. He went to Threads, and within a week or two, he was like, I'm out, and went to Bluesky, and that's where he is now. So from from a marketing perspective, Bluesky or Threads are not really going to help us because there's no ads. There's very little in the way of analytics. How is this going to get us to show up in Google? And that's what I'm always looking at. So unless Threads and Bluesky start getting indexed, and maybe they are, and I just haven't gotten caught up on that yet, I don't see it as a viable book marketing or creator marketing where you're selling a product or service. I think that will probably change, though, given the power that Meta has, unfortunately.
Right. And the last piece of social media news, speaking of Bluesky, they have now crossed 30 million users. They have 12 million monthly active users and 1 billion posts in just 1 year since launch, which is pretty amazing. Is anybody actively using Bluesky here? Yeah. What do y'all think of Bluesky?
It's the old Twitter.
It really is, isn't it?
I've just been repurposing posts there once in a while. I don't spend much time there. I just have an account there. We'll see. But it's just another place. And so it's hard to keep track.
I like it because so many writers are there. It's kind of like being in Substack, because in Substack notes, right? So you get a lot of that kind of comfort level, but that you're interacting with people with similar interests, which is really cool. One of the things that I just wanted to share, this grew my account it got me over 1,000 followers. I shared a Booksky challenge that somebody created, and it was share your favorite books over the course of 20 days, no explanations, just the book covers. And so I've been doing that every day, and I'm getting so many followers just by participating in something like that, which, like Bez said, that's like old Twitter. Those were the wonderful things about Twitter, that it would just explode and become this huge thing without really putting a lot of effort into it, purely out of the love of books and reading, which makes me very happy. So things like that, I could post that on X and probably get 1 or 2 people to notice it. I feel like that's a good way to kind of get your foot in the door, because everybody's read books that you've loved, and then you just share them. So that's actually been a surprising way to grow for me.
And that's on Bluesky.
Correct. But again, does that mean people are going to buy my books? No, but they may follow me. They may look at my bio. They may look at my pinned post and then end up somewhere where they could potentially make a purchase, which is really what social media is anyway. It's a door,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all, we went through this hour. It feels like we just started. How did we already get to the top of the hour? I did have some info. I wanted to go over this ChatGPT search, but I don't know. I wonder if I should just save it for next week or maybe just do a separate video. I'm trying to keep this at an hour, but it's so fun hanging out with y'all. And we got so many people watching us live on all the different social media platforms. We have 137 people here with us, which is awesome. It's like, wow. I think between my Facebook, YouTube, and X, I know a lot of them are on my X, plus Bez and Barb are sharing this out to their social media as well. So we just got a bunch of people hanging out with us. We do this every Thursday at 1:00 Eastern for an hour. We hang out, talk about the latest social media and AI news. Y'all want me to just do just a hyperspeed quick thing through the ChatGPT search I wanted to show y'all? It's so hard to leave and say goodbye. I want to just keep going, but I don't want to go over. Do y'all want to just do that? Want me to do that real quick?
Go ahead.
Do it. All right. Peer pressure. Okay. So there was an announcement with OpenAI, with ChatGPT, that the ChatGPT search is now available for everyone on ChatGPT. So it was just for the paid accounts. It was a newer feature that came out recently. And I've been playing around with this. I do still have my Plus account. I've been, even though I use Magi for the bulk of my AI stuff, I still have been playing with the ChatGPT Plus, the $20 a month plan, because I just love that interaction back and forth in real time, like you're talking to a real person, even though it's the AI through ChatGPT. And you can do it on your phone, you can do it on your desktop computer, and then that other new feature where you can actually turn on your camera and they see you. I say they like it's a person, but the AI sees you and can interact. I've demoed it here in this live stream before. I just find it fascinating. So I was only going to do it for like a month, but I went ahead and renewed a second month because I really like brainstorming that way, where I can just hit the button and just talk to the AI and help me brainstorm some business ideas. And I just prefer that over typing it and going back and forth typing. I mean, I do the typing back and forth for a lot of stuff, but there's just some fun in just like talking to an AI, but it feels like a real person. And there's just something really special about that. So I don't know how much longer I'll keep the paid account, because I can just pretty much do everything I want to do in Magi. But on Magi, Dustin did add the voice feature from ChatGPT, but even though you pay to use Magi, I guess the way it's working with ChatGPT, it'll give you the free 10 minutes a month like you get on the free ChatGPT. I don't want to go too far in the weeds because this might not make sense to everybody. But anyway, it's just been my big experiment. But I want to show y'all something really cool I've been playing around with on this ChatGPT Search, and I was just trying to come up with just something like really interesting to show with this. So I'm gonna do an example for y'all, and I'm gonna do it directly inside of ChatGPT. But just know that you can do this on a free account or if you have a paid account. So I'm gonna open up ChatGPT, and have y'all heard of that neurogum? That's like TikTok. There's a gazillion videos about it, and I actually tried this gum. It's a gum that has like caffeine and L-theanine in it, and I absolutely love this gum. But I don't go overboard because it's natural caffeine. But anyway, I did this prompt just to experiment with this search. So I said, "Where's the nearest store that sells neurogum?" And I put in my zip code. So I'm gonna hit search, and it's really interesting how it does this. Like when you want something like really specific and like, okay, in the search, like this is not what regular ChatGPT used to do, right? It's like, wait a minute. So I can sit here and it'll give me a map, and then it gives you all these sources down here. So I can click on the sources on the right sidebar is showing me like, yeah, here it is at CVS. Here it is at Target. It's like, wow. And I can sit here and click on that. Now it's going to open up a new screen so you can't see it on here. But it'll actually like open it up to where I can go buy it online there. But I can also just use the map and go figure out where's the closest store. So I can go, if I just want to go purchase it that way, but utilizing ChatGPT in a different way. But then there's also Perplexity. Have y'all heard of Perplexity? It's another AI tool that's really big with search. Have you played with it, Bez? Perplexity?
Yeah, it's good. It also gives you sources, and let's say if you want like it depends, like a use case I'm going to use it for is for as I mean everything's biased, but as unbiased or without too many slants, like a news or article or information, it does a pretty good job at that, and also has sources with it, so that's important, right? Because there's a lot of misinformation out there.
Right. And I love that whole sources thing. So when I open this up in Perplexity, and this is free, they have a pro account. Now Perplexity, that's Google, right? And this is a Google, pretty sure it's Google.
I think it's Anthropic, and let me double check.
I think it's Google. So I'm gonna put the same prompt. Where's the nearest store that sells neurogum with my zip code? And what I always recommend for people to do is experiment with these different ones. My experience with this is going to be a little bit different from doing ChatGPT, but you might like the way something like this works in ChatGPT. I come over here to Perplexity and I'm like, oh, I like the layout of the sources, and then it gives me a lot more information than it did over in ChatGPT Search, and it giving me all these options, is telling me all these things, it has related. I like this a lot. So anyway, I just wanted to show y'all that I find it interesting that Perplexity is something that's available to us. It's free. You can do all these different searches. Yeah, Larry's right. Claude is Anthropic. I'm almost sure Perplexity is Google. Let me be meta and Google that and see. So Perplexity is Google ? No. Okay, it's not Google. Okay. I thought Perplexity is one of those big companies though. Okay, I was wrong. I thought somebody big owns that. But anyway, it's fun to kind of experiment with these to see the kind of results. But anyway, I wanted to show my little experiment playing with that. I do have like a short little YouTube short of what Perplexity is. Let me bring this up and play this for y'all. So at least a quick little 30 seconds of what is Perplexity. And then we'll wrap up.
Are you doing work that requires proper citations and research? This is a great replacement for Google search. It's similar to the other apps where you can ask questions with your voice. However, it's not going to talk back to you. It's going to answer in text form. What makes Perplexity so wonderful is that it also cites its sources. This way, you can be certain where it got its information from. If you upgrade it to the paid plan, they use a combination of different AI models, so you can use apps like ChatGPT alongside Perplexity. Next time you have to do research for school or do market research for a business plan, try asking Perplexity.
Huh. Interesting. So I kind of like it. I just, sometimes will use it when I'm trying, searching for things, just to use something different and see what the results are in there and how it's different from ChatGPT. Now, Perplexity did make an announcement this week that that the new DeepSeek, we've been hearing about DeepSeek, that DeepSeek model is available inside of Perplexity. That video was talking about how in Perplexity, it can utilize ChatGPT and others. So it also can use DeepSeek. But, there's been all this talk about the whole DeepSeek based in China, and is it secure and all that stuff. And the information I was reading about this with Perplexity is that Perplexity is hosted on servers based in the US and Europe. So your data is not shared with the model provider or with China. So I thought that was interesting too. So anyway, that's what I have for y'all this week. All kinds of interesting information for us to discuss. I'm so glad y'all are here and hanging out with me. It's so much more fun doing this with a group instead of me just sitting here by myself doing all this. So thank y'all for spending time and hanging out, and for some during your lunch hour. I appreciate it. And for all of our live viewers, we got so many of y'all here with us live. Thank y'all. We do this every week. So mark your calendar wherever you're watching this next Thursday. I always have this on my YouTube and on X. Here's the thing. So the videos I showed or the links to different sites, I will have those in the description on my YouTube. So the YouTube of this video later, I will put that in there. And also timestamps. So like if you got here late and you want to I just want to see the first part of the stuff they talked about in the beginning, you can easily go from place to place in it. Anyway, Cindy Lou just made it over in the comments. No worries, Cindy Lou, you're all the way in New Zealand. It's tomorrow morning. No worries. But yeah, you can, as soon as this is over, you can catch the replay and watch that. Thank y'all so much. I hope to see y'all again next week. If you have any questions, reach out to me at Madalyn Sklar. I'm on all the social channels at Madalyn Sklar. And then be sure to join me over on the Skool platform. You can sign up free, skool.com/Madalyn Sklar. All right, y'all. Oh, I love it, Bez. Where do we get one of those, Bez? That's so freaking cool. Where can I get one of those pillows?
Well, if you click on the link, I will, and just leave it a blank check. I'll get it. Yeah, I'll get you one.
Y'all are so much fun to hang out with. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here and hanging out and chatting in the comments with us. And we'll be back again next week. See y'all later. Have a great rest of your day.